All right, now we're going to move on to chapter 11 to look at numbers, and we'll cover this much more briefly in these videos at least. So what your chapter suggests, and I would echo this, is that you focus on just memorizing the masculine absolute versions of the numbers, and then just make sure that you're able to recognize these other forms. So, for example, for the number 3, you have shalosh in the masculine, shalosh in the masculine construct, shalosha in the feminine absolute, and shaloshet in the feminine construct. Now, some of those are patterns that you've seen before, right? So in the construct, this kametz turns to a shava. You already know that. In the construct, this hey turns to a tav. You already know that. You're not really memorizing new material in this case. But just have a look over this chart. What I want you to do is not to be able to recreate this chart, but simply to be able to recognize the numbers. So we're going to really focus here on recognition. So memorize these masculine absolute forms. Really memorize any forms of these numbers you'd like to memorize, right? Because the forms are so similar that you should be able to recognize them no matter which of these forms you have memorized. Now, I've included here some links of modern Hebrew numbers, and you'll see they use the masculine and feminine in slightly different ways. But there's a lot of resources online for modern Hebrew numbers, and you might as well use them. They're great. Sometimes it helps to hear it over and over again, or use the visuals or whatever. So again, we're really focusing simply on recognition. Can you translate the numbers, recognize and translate them? So I will pronounce the masculine absolute forms here, although I recommend that you use the other videos as well. But here we have echad, Shanaim, Shalosh, Arba, Chamesh, Shesh, Sheva, Shemone, Tesha, and Eser. Now, those are called the cardinal numbers. That just means kind of counting numbers, counting things, not talking about what order things are in. So cardinal numbers in English are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And ordinal numbers would be first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay, I'm not really concerned that you digest the cardinal ordinal terminology. I just want you to be able to, recognize and translate things properly. So those are the cardinal numbers. The videos that I've posted below will show you how to make the numbers 11 through 19. It's pretty logical. Here are the cardinal numbers for 20 through 90. So we'll just quickly do these. You're basically just pluralizing the numbers 1 through 10 that you've already learned. But 20 is esrim. So 2 tens, essentially, right? 30 is shaloshim, 40 arba'im, 50 chamishim, 60 shishim, 70 shiv'im, 80 shmonim, 90 tish'im. Okay, of these larger cardinal numbers, I want you to focus on just a few of these, okay? 100, mea. You need to know 200, matayim, and then skip ahead here to 1,000, elef. And that's really, those three are the ones that I want you to focus on and be responsible for. Okay, and the rest should be fairly self-explanatory. So focus on those three of those larger numbers. Okay, and here are our ordinal numbers. Think Olympics, right? Who's first, second, third, fourth? Ordinal. So I'll just quickly translate, pronounce these masculine numbers. Rishon is first, Sheni second, Shalishi third, Revi'i fourth. Now, look at the similarity between these and the numbers 1 through 10. So these shouldn't be too hard to recognize. You've got this Hirik Yod at the end of all these forms except for first. Okay, where were we? Chamishi, 5th. Shishi, 6th. Shavi'i, 7th. Shemini, 8th. Tushii, 9th. Asiri, 10th. Okay, so that hirik yod at the end is going to tip you off that we're looking at an ordinal number. What order did people finish in, for example? Okay? So go ahead and watch those Hebrew in 3 minutes videos that I posted. I think they're really good and helpful. And then maybe take a look at this extra worksheet that I posted. We've got some equations here. So because they're equations, it should give you some hints as to how to translate these things. It might get you kind of used to seeing the vocabulary before you dive into some of the, I would say, a little bit trickier biblical translations in your workbook. So again, focus on recognition. If you nail those 10 numbers and you know how it works, this shouldn't be too complicated. I don't want you to necessarily know how to spell all the numbers in every case, but make sure you can recognize them.